Is there a market left for Ja Morant? I think that's the question that we're all kind of wondering. News comes out a couple days ago that the Grizzlies are open and listening to trade offers for the first time for Ja Morant in his 6-year career in Memphis. Welcome back to the Eye Test here on the Chat It Up Sports YouTube channel. I am your host, Drew Rogers. Thanks for watching these guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for listening to talk about the NBA for 10 to 15 minutes. Last time we talked about Trae Young, actually called the Trae Young trade to the T with Kispert and CJ McCollum. I will say there are a couple differences for Ja. It feels like there may be multiple suitors out there. With Trae Young, it felt like it was really the Wizards or bust to get him off the team in Atlanta. So really, it's interesting when you think about the fact that the Grizzlies now are open to trading Ja Morant right after the Trae Young trade, which I would say Ja Morant and Trae Young are on pretty close ground for me, equal footing. I think throughout Ja's career in Memphis, there were reasons to trade him that didn't relate to basketball. So, I don't want to rehash everything that's happened in Ja Morant's career. There were reasons to get off of him, but his play was always so good, and his brand, more importantly, was always really, really important to the foundation and who the Memphis Grizzlies were as a team and who they were as a brand themselves, honestly. I mean, Ja Morant is one of only, 5 or 6 players with a Nike signature shoe left. And he's definitely the best selling Nike shoe. I have a pair of Jaws. You go to any open run. I still go to open runs sometimes. You go to any open run, there's going to be a pair of Jaws left. And it's a phenomenal shoe. It's one of the best that they make. So really, when you look at what the Grizzlies are going to get back for Ja, I think they're trading on his personal brand more than anything, because I think his name still carries a lot of weight. There's still a reason that he's, when they're listening to trades for him, then there's still a reason that that's announced. So, in looking at that, when I mentioned his play earlier, his play's not great. Looked at his stats earlier, was shocked. 19 points a game, 40% from the field, 40% from the field as a 6'3" guard, and 20% from three. He's shooting 16 points below league average from the triple as a 6'3" guard who does not dunk anymore. Ja Morant just doesn't really attack the rim with the same fervor. And yeah, he's a decent playmaker, but it's not. When's the last time you saw a Ja Morant assist compilation? Or when's the last time you heard, man, Ja really makes his team better by moving the ball around, by being a floor general? Because he's not. He was a reckless, abandoned athlete who was an average to below average three-point shooter, and now he's one of the worst three-point shooters in the league. Yeah, 19 points a game is fine, but on that efficiency, I mean, it's nothing, and it's not worth anything to anybody. So the Grizzlies are definitely trading on the Ja Morant name more than they are on the Ja Morant production of this season and as of late. They got, 5 first-round picks for Desmond Bane? And there's an argument to be made when Scottie Pippen Jr. comes back into the fold for the Memphis Grizzlies that they may be upgrading at the guard position with him, Cam Spencer. I think it's kind of insane that they may not get a first-round pick for Ja Morant, but I'm getting ahead of myself. With that being said, I thought of a couple of trades that might work for the Memphis Grizzlies in, if not getting a good amount back for Ja Morant, because it was announced they want picks, they want young players. I don't know if I do that. But anyways, I came up with a few trades. I ran them through on the trade machine. They somewhat work. A few of them are just straight up player for player. I'm guessing a third team would probably be involved in this Ja Morant trade. But the first one, and the one I think is the most realistic, is Domantas Sabonis straight up for Ja Morant. Sabonis has been hurt. The Kings have a young center, Ray. I don't know. I'm sorry. I should have looked at his name. I didn't. But they have a young center who has shown some promise this year. Sabonis is on a $42 million contract for 3 years. Ja's on a $39 million contract for 3 years. So really, the salary works really well to do this swap. I think if you really want out of the Ja Morant business and you're okay with getting Sabonis back for him, I think this is a good move for both teams, because the Kings are getting, like I said, the brand that Ja Morant is. They're getting the asset outside of basketball that is Ja Morant. They don't have anything going for him. The roster is Levine, DeRozan, Sabonis, Keon Ellis, Westbrook, Schroeder. How's that selling tickets? It's not. It's not selling tickets. So they are looking for the brand that is Ja Morant. And the Grizzlies are just really, really, really done and ready to get out of the business. And I think, say what you will about him, he's having a little bit of a down year, in my opinion, so far. Jaren Jackson needs to be next to a traditional 5. He can't play the 5. And I know you've already got Zach Edey, but he's out for a while. Lingering injury issues with him. Big guy, taller guys, you kind of worry about the foot and the leg more than anything. So I think that is the most realistic trade. I also have seen a trade floating around from the Kings really quick. It's DeRozan and one other asset. And I think it's DeRozan, Malik Monk, and some picks. I mean, maybe, but I think it was 1 first-round pick. So if you really want a 2031 Kings first-round pick, I guess you can probably, with the way that the Kings are going, besides the light the beam year, I guess you probably guarantee that's probably at least a top 10 pick. So maybe. But next trade. Michael Porter Jr. traded for Ja Morant and a pick, because I think Michael Porter Jr. has had a legit good enough year now to warrant the Grizzlies having to come off of a pick to get him. There was a bug in here, and I had to kill it. But Michael Porter Jr. spaces the floor really exceptionally well. And one interesting thing of note about the Memphis Grizzlies is their wings, the Cedric Coward, the Vince Williams Jr., the Jalen Wells, none of them shoot exceptionally from 3. They're good wings. They're good NBA players. And might I add, that's probably the reason more than anything that they're listening to trades for Ja is with Cedric Coward. Now you feel like you may have something beyond Ja Morant as an asset for the basketball team that you can pair with Jaren Jackson and convince yourself with getting another asset back that you may be closer than you might actually be. But anyways, Michael Porter Jr. spaces the floor really well. The Nets, I think, actually are worse with Ja Morant this year. So the idea would be that you're actually better with him on the floor tanking, and he's going to sell more tickets than Michael Porter Jr. People are going to want to come see Ja in Brooklyn more than they will Michael Porter Jr. So that's one. Their contracts, again, are very similar. And I believe Michael Porter Jr.'s is up in 2 years. So you can get off that money. If you don't want to re-sign Michael Porter Jr., you can get off the money a year earlier because Josh still has 3 years left on his deal. There's no player option. There's no team option, nothing like that. Finally, well, I shouldn't say finally. An interesting thought that I had is that I think the Chicago Bulls should definitely be in the Ja Morant business because no team for over 500 should trade for Ja. But I think the Chicago Bulls are absolutely a team that should be in the Ja Morant business. I know Kobe White's contract is a little light, but if you pair some salary, Patrick Williams might add, if you just want to straight dump that asset, I think this is a very opportune time to do so. If you want to dump the Vucevic contract, you are more than welcome to do so. And I think it's interesting because I think Ja would be a great fit in Chicago with what they've got. And I think that Ja would be more motivated to actually, I'm not going to comment on that. I don't know much. I'm not going to comment on Ja Morant's motivations, but personally, I think that Ja Morant is obviously more motivated on the Chicago team. And this would kind of be a retooling of that Chicago nucleus, which is so illustrious and gets you the 11th seed every year. Finally, a trade that has been talked about. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. 10 seed. A trade that has been talked about a lot. Zion for Ja, straight up. You want to swap problem for problem. I think there's an opportunity there to do so. Another thing came out the other day about Zion Williamson. Some OnlyFans model again with him. I don't think that matters as much nowadays because Zion's play has improved quite a bit. But if you both want to get out of the current business that you're in, I think it's definitely an opportunity for both teams to do so and say, hey, maybe we look better. Now, the Pelicans have Jeremiah Fears and they have Jordan Poole, 2 other small guards. That would be a weird rotation. But yeah, I don't know if there's really a market left for Ja Morant. As I said in the intro, the Trae Young piece of everything makes it seem like maybe there's not for these guys that have been so important to their team. Same with LaMelo. They're very important to their individual franchise, but outside of their individual franchise, their asset value is just not very high. So I'll be interested to see if you have any suggestions for a Ja Morant trade of your own, put it in the comments below. Or if you have any questions about life, the NBA, Chat It Up Sports, me, whatever. Put it in the comments below, and I'll answer it at the beginning of the next episode. This was the 6th episode of the eye test. This is actually the 3rd time that I've recorded it. Make sure you know where your audio is working. But thanks for watching, guys. I don't have anything else for you. Peace.